Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn and welcome to week 3 of Smaugust. I can't believe we're already here. We're getting so close to completing this challenge and I've been having a lot of fun drawing a gajillion dragons. But anyway, this is a wrap up for week 3. I'm gonna go over all the designs I did throughout the week. I've been posting daily shorts of them. You've probably seen them pop up here and there on your subscriptions or other things, but I like doing these ones to kind of do more of a breakdown of like my thought process behind every one of the designs and kind of let you see a more slowed down speed paint, so then you can kind of, I don't know, see more of the process behind me drawing them. Also, if you want to participate in this Roll for Dragon challenge, there's still time. You can like totally jump in and just draw a couple dragons by the end of the month, but you can post them online under the hashtag KMRollForDragon, or you can join my Discord where we have a whole dedicated channel to post your dragons in. But either way, let's jump in and get the drawing started. Hey guys, welcome back to my Roll for Dragons Smaugust challenge. We're on day 17. I can't believe it. We're cruising through these. So let's go ahead and get to rolling and see what the dice decide for us to draw. Okay, first up with a D6, a 1. We have another European style dragon. The worm still forever evades us. Next, let's go ahead and get the first trait. 29, which is crested. Interesting. Okay, crested. And then the second trait, 78. Mist or fog. Interesting. So we got European, crested, mist or fog. All right, let's get into drawing it. All right, kicking off week 3 with this fog-based creature. So this one actually is the second version of this dragon. I ended up not finishing the first drawing I did. It wasn't working. My first one, I was using kind of like a crested gecko, which I liked that idea. But then the fog or the mist aspect was just wasn't working. It just wasn't very cohesive. I wasn't really liking how it was looking with the body of the gecko. So I scrapped the entire thing and I'm like, I'm going to go a little bit more heavy into the mist aspect instead of the crested aspect. So it still is crested. We have some cool horns along its head and on its sides of the head and on its neck. But I wanted it to be heavier on the fog side of things. This one was a little bit different than my usual. I started with a general sketch and then I ended up actually doing a fill of the space that sketch took, and tried to not really use like an outline layer. I just went straight into colors because I wanted it to look like it was fading into the mist behind it. And at first I was doing like a little bit of its hands peeking out so you could see like the actual dragon behind the mist type of thing. But it just felt a little bit too stark of a difference from the fog aspect. So I had a great recommendation from a friend to try doing something similar to the forest spirit in Princess Mononoke. And then she also sent me a lot of other inspirations for fog creatures. And after changing the hands to that more weirdly translucent, like you can't tell if it's made out of fog or if it's like kind of a little bit more solid, it's like an in-between. I feel that really sealed the deal on this dragon and it made it look like it was a dragon made of mist. Hey guys, welcome back to our Roll for Dragon challenge for Smaugust 2024, where we basically design a dragon every day based off the roll of the dice. So we're officially on day 18. So let's go ahead and get rolling for what we're drawing today. All right, we'll start with the D6. Oh my God, we finally got a worm. All right, let's get our first trait. Okay, let's roll for our first trait. 86, which is crystal. Okay, crystal. And let's get our second trait. 69, nice. Wild. Okay, so we have a wild crystal worm. Let's figure out how to draw that. Let's go. All right, next up, we finally got our first worm in this challenge. I still can't believe it took 18 freaking days to roll a worm because like with it being the number 4, I thought this would be kind of like the most average number that my dice would roll. But it wasn't. It was far from it. This number evaded us for so long, but either way, I was excited to finally draw a worm. And so for this one with the wild prompt, my first gut instinct was like wild, like kind of like plants just growing wild and crazy. So I was thinking it'd be really cool if this thing was made out of almost like
vines and tree roots, and it just kind of encased this entire worm with this like mishmash, like cross pattern of these just randomly growing bits of plant life. And with that too, I would interlace the crystals either being like held by the roots or inlaid somewhere in the different parts of the roots. And I really liked how this one turned out. It was a very interesting combo to have like those more solid crystals and the more like naturey flowing roots. But boy, this one took a long time. I really should go through and check which of the dragons took the longest. I think the dinosaur dragon still takes the cake for the time, but this one, the line art, was a very, very, very long time. And then with the crystals, I wanted them to still be in those earth tones, but I wanted a couple little hits of a little bit of a brighter color, so I added some oranges and yellows as well. And I think this turned out really cool. I feel it gives the idea that this thing is almost being like controlled by these magical crystals. Like maybe this entity is like a dragon made of like the mind of the crystals or something, or the magic that's in them. I don't know. I think it's a really cool design, and I really like how it turned out.
Hey everybody, welcome to day 19 of our Roll for Dragon challenge for Smaugust 2024, where we basically design a dragon every day based off the roll of the dice. So let's go ahead and get started with our rolls today. First up for the D6 for the type of dragon. Oh my god, another worm. That's 2 in a row. Okay, next up we have the first trait, which is 87, Toxic Slime. Let's roll for our second trait, which is 89. Infernal. That's going to be a weird combo. All right, so we got Toxic Slime, Infernal Worm. All right, let's figure out how to put these together. Let's get into it.
And the universe delivered us another worm. It was making up for just not giving us many worms. And this one was pretty fun to do as a worm design. So first off with the Infernal, that's kind of what I was going with at first. I wanted to make this look as like demonic and demon-like as possible. And then with the Toxic Slime aspect, I wanted it like basically swimming through the slime, but it's also been like affected by it. So its stomach is like kind of almost like acid burned skin that's been slowly making its way onto like the spikes and spines along its back as well. Because I'm thinking of this thing like if it's like floating in this acid for long periods of time, maybe primarily on the stomach, it would be burning away at it slowly with this toxic slime. And I feel like the underbelly of this creature would probably be the softest and like most pliable of its, I guess, carapace, skin, whatever. So that's why it's kind of also like being burned away faster than its back, like heavier spinage. You know what I mean? And I think this looks really cool. I feel like it almost looks like it also could like spit up and shoot toxic slime at its adversaries. And I feel like this would be in a Doom video game. It looks really cool. Like, I think this would be a really interesting like boss monster in Doom. I just think it fits really well for that universe. At first, I was a little hesitant of this combo, but I think it turned out really cool. It was a very interesting combo to get, but I think it looks like an awesome like toxic acid demon.
Hey guys, welcome to day 20 for Roll for Dragon, where we basically draw a dragon every day in August based off the roll of the dice. We're in the 20s, so let's get started and get rolling for today. So first off for the D6 for the dragon type, a 2, another Asian lung. All right, let's roll for our first trait. 64, which is pretty Asian lung. That's pretty fitting. And our second trait, 75, Lost Soul. So we have a pretty Lost Soul Asian lung. This is gonna be a cool combo. Let's get into sketching and figure this one out.
So this one actually is kind of taking the cake for my favorite. I still love all my previous favorites, but this one I just was really jiving with. I love the idea of making almost like a ghost-like dragon. So I was just so excited to jump into this, and I felt it was so perfect with the Asian lung aspect. In terms of like the pretty aspect as well, I was thinking about like the scales would be almost like koi fish scales. And I wanted to give the idea of like maybe like Kirin koi fish. I had a friend compare it also to, there was that one rainbow fish that would give out its shiny scales. That actually was on my brain when I was thinking of it too. So this basically, that was kind of like the inspiration for the pretty part of this Lost Souls dragon. I also wanted it to look like it was just kind of like floating through an abyss, and it has this really cool, like, I guess you could call it a ghost cloth. I don't really know what else to call it for this. And it's just like both haunting but beautiful at the same time. So I wanted the face to have kind of like, you could see almost a bit of the skeleton underneath. I actually also made the mouth sealed, like it's not able to open its mouth. If you can see kind of the skin over where the teeth should be, but I wanted it to be a little translucent so you could kind of see a skull behind it as well. And then I really wanted it to like look like it was glowing and have some see-through aspects as well. So the end of the tail, I slowly had it fade away, and I added kind of like a, I guess like a ghost fire to its back to add to the blues that were on the body. As well as like I wanted to add some other scale colors amongst the body as well. And I love this so much. It turned out so cool and creepy, and I love using the dark backgrounds on these. I know a lot of them have a white background to help the other colors pop. But this one, it looks so good on like almost like a midnight purple background. It's so cool. I love it so much. So yeah, this one right now is taking the cake for my favorite. It was a really awesome combo, and it just, it turned out so cool.
Hey everybody, welcome to day 21 for Roll for Dragon for our 2024 Smaugust challenge. We've made it. It's the end of week 3. Let's do this. So we're basically drawing a dragon every day per the roll of the dice. So let's see what we summon today. All right, first off for the D6, a 1, a European dragon. And then for our first trait, 5, sunflower. That'll be cute. And for our second trait, 84, Sakura. We got a double flower one. What a great wrap up to week 3. Let's get drawing and sketch this one out.
So for day 21, I was actually kind of intimidated by this dragon at first because getting a double floral prompt, I didn't know how well these were going to mix together because Sakura is in that more like light pink to reddish pink tones. And then the sunflower is like very yellow and bright. And I mean, I know those colors could look nice together, but at the same time, I thought it would look disjointed, I guess, when I made this dragon. I was just afraid of it looking like, okay, we put like slapped on a random bit of sunflower here, a random bit of Sakura there. And so I was just a little bit intimidated going into this one because I wanted it to work and, you know, flow well together. So I went into it just like trying to piece out where I wanted to put different aspects. And I was just more like going in this without knowing exactly how I wanted to color it. But I was like, I really want really pretty Sakura petals. And then we'll use like those longer petals from the sunflower as well. So I didn't have like a super solid plan outside of the sketch and the line art. Oh, and then I also brought in like the branches from the Sakura to be the horns and also the arms of the wings. So with that, I started like putting in little bits of color and slowly building up because I was like, how much pink do I need? How much yellow do I need? And it was just kind of playing around with it back and forth and seeing what worked best for this because I didn't want to overdo one color and underdo another. But I think I found a pretty good balance between both of the flower colors. I also added some yellow speckles to the nose of the dragon to be like the little bits of pollen that are inside like the Sakura. Like they have like the longer, I forgot what they're called, the stigma, is that what it is? That have the little yellow dots on them. And I thought it would look really cute on the face and also tie in the yellow of the sunflower into the pinks of the sakura as well. So yeah, I love this one. Surprisingly, I didn't think I would like it as much, and I didn't think I was going to nail it because I was just kind of intimidated to combine the two, but I think it turned out really cool.
Hey guys, welcome to day 22 for our Roll for Dragon challenge, where we basically are drawing a dragon every day for August based off the roll of the dice. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to roll today. Okay, first off, we're going to do our D6 to see what type of dragon. We have a 3, so we got another wyvern today. Okay, let's get our first trait with our D100. 46, which is caffeinated. Okay, let's get our second trait. 55, which is rusted. I don't know what I'm gonna do for this. I think he's just gonna look a little nuts and falling apart. We'll figure it out. Let's get to sketching.
So a quick apology with this one. My recording actually corrupted for the later part of this, so it will be the other Speedpaint, but either way, we still kind of captured it. And so let me jump in and tell you about my process for this one. So for Caffeinated, I wanted this guy to have like a very kind of crazy and manic look to him. Like he for sure had way too much caffeine in his system. And with that, I wanted his hoard to be like coffee beans. So I thought that would be perfect for the caffeinated aspect. And I thought the rusted colors are going to look so nice with like the browns of the coffee beans as well. So I didn't go for like a metal rusted, but I instead interpreted it as more of like his color patterning will look like he's rusted. And I really like how it ends up turning out in the end. I also added some patterning to, I guess, kind of be more like snake reptile-like. So like along the sides, he'll have those bigger clumps of color and some spotting. And I just had like the inspiration from a snake to add that into his coloring in the end. I also had a handy dandy brush that I got on the Clip Studio store for coffee beans because that would have taken me way too long to draw every bean. And I think it actually worked really well. It doesn't look like too much of a departure from the line art that I do. So, you know, I think it jived really well with this piece. I love this little coffee guy. A friend of mine actually joked that it looks like my own inner coffee demon. Like it's the little dragon inside me that craves the caffeine and the taste of coffee constantly. So that's my inner coffee demon. I'm curious if you guys have your own, if you like coffee or tea. Would you have your own little like pet inner dragon that really enjoyed these hot and iced beverages? Let me know. But I love him. He's really, really cute.
Hey everybody, welcome to day 23 for our Roll for Dragon challenge, where we're basically designing a dragon based off of the roll of the dice. So let's go ahead and get into rolling and see what we have for our second day of week 3. Okay, first off for the D6, let's see what we get. A 1. So we have another European dragon. Next, let's do the D100 for the first trait. 22, which is Peacock. And then for the second trait, 94, cat. Ooh, this is going to be pretty cool. So we have a European peacock cat. Let's jump in and get some sketching going.
And here we are for the final dragon of week 3. This one was a very cute combo. I am so pleased with the combo of peacock and cat with a European dragon, so we get some wings to go with the peacock. I thought this one turned out really cute. I think this would be a great one for a future monster manual. Ugh, I just love how it turned out. So for this one, I actually had to re-roll the dice quite a few times. I cut it out of the recording, obviously, but we're starting to hit a point where I have to keep re-rolling because I'm hitting ones that I've already rolled. So I was still really pleased that this combo happened and it worked out like to be such a fun combo. Because, man, I think I re-rolled the second attribute like 6 times. Like, it took forever to get a prompt that I hadn't rolled yet. And so I'm going to say it was the power of the universe that eventually gave me a cool combo of peacock and cat. And so for this one, I went pretty heavy on the feline attributes, added some horns and some cool teeth. And then I kept the bat-like wings to keep it more close to a dragon design, because I didn't want it to go too much into like almost like a hippogriff griffin zone. Because if I did the feathered wings, I feel it would be a little bit too much of a departure from a dragon. And it was kind of fun to convert the peacock feathers into more of a bat wing design. This one was also really fun to color. I loved all the beautiful blues and like greens and such that I can pull from the peacock for this one. And I used another handy dandy Clip Studio paintbrush to help me with those peacock feathers, because that would have taken a very long time to hand draw and hand color. So it saved me some time on this one. I love it. It turned out really beautiful, and it was a great wrap up to week 3. And there we have it. Week 3 is all wrapped up. I have been really enjoying this challenge. Like, I've always liked Inktober and other things, but obviously I really like drawing dragons, so this one was of course jiving with me. And as I promised, at the end of every video, I'm going to do a feature. So here's a couple of the amazing dragons from our community from the last couple weeks. I just love seeing these. There's been so many awesome ones. So thank you guys for participating. It's been so cool to look through them every day. With that too, I want to give a shout out to my Patreon patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and helping me with this like transition to going full-time art. If you want to support me on Patreon, it would be a huge help. I release all of my artwork early that I create in these videos and online, as well as high-resolution versions of all of the artwork I create. And then I'm going to be rolling out some physical rewards pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that if you want to go check out my Patreon. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I'm very excited to keep going and wrap up Smaugust. This has been a really fun challenge. I hope you've been enjoying watching the shorts and these longer videos. But yeah, we're getting closer and closer to being done with Smaugust. It's pretty crazy. But again, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. I'd really appreciate it if you left a like, a comment, subscribe, help me make this thing happen for my full-time gig. It would be awesome. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.